Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to take a whirlwind tour through Izmir, the Pearl of the Aegean. This is a city where, thousands of years of history are literally layered right on top of each other, just waiting to be discovered.
So, that's our challenge, right? How in the world do you even start to unpack a history that goes back 8,500 years in just a single day? Well, to do that, we've put together a special journey that'll take us through the city's most iconic and historically important sites. And we're going to start right in its vibrant heart. All right, so our journey kicks off where the city's pulse is the strongest, right in the symbolic center of Izmir, the super bustling areas of Konak and Kemeraltı.
Okay, our first landmark is something you'll probably recognize right away. Back in 1901, the iconic Izmir clock tower was finished, and pretty much overnight, it became the symbol of the city.
But you know, the story behind this tower is what's really fascinating. It wasn't just built to tell time. It was a big political statement. It was built to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Sultan Abdul Hamid II's rule, and its elegant 25-meter-tall structure was designed by a French architect, Raymond Charles Perret. And right there, you get this key theme of Izmir, this amazing blend of Ottoman tradition and European influence that really defines the city's character. All right, so from the wide-open Konak Square, we're diving into a totally different world, Kemeraltı, the historic market district. And listen, this isn't just a market, it's a living, breathing labyrinth of history, commerce, and culture that's been the city's commercial core for centuries. And you know, the way this market has changed over time is just incredible. Originally, Kemeraltı is a classic covered Ottoman bazaar. I'm talking streets covered by vaults, with specific areas for different trades. You had your blacksmiths, your spice merchants, you name it. Today, while you can still find some of that historic character in beautiful old inns like the Kızılada Agasihanu from 1744, it's mostly transformed into this huge open-air commercial hub, and it's so important that it's on UNESCO's tentative World Heritage List. How cool is that? Okay, next step, we're going to leave the hustle and bustle of the market behind for a minute to get a moment of calm and one of the best views in the entire city. We're headed to a really unique monument that has, honestly, one of the most charming origin stories, the Tarihi Asansör, or historical elevator. So to really get why this elevator even exists, you got to understand the problem it solved. I want you to picture this. A sheer cliff 58 meters high, that's almost 190 feet, that separated two vibrant, historic neighborhoods. That massive drop is the whole reason this thing was built. And the story behind it is just fantastic. For years, the only way to get between the two districts was this grueling climb up 155 really treacherous steps. So the legend goes that after a friend of a wealthy Jewish businessman named Asim Levy fell and broke his leg, Levy just decided, okay, I'm going to solve this problem for everyone. He was inspired by similar elevators in Europe, and he funded this public lift. What a beautiful gift to the city, right? And it really shows you what Izmir was all about, a cosmopolitan port where all these different communities really built the city together. Okay, now hang on tight, because we are about to take a huge leap back in time. We're leaving the Ottoman era way behind and jumping straight into the Roman heart of ancient Smyrna, the Agora. And this is where you really start to see the layers of Izmir. The landmarks we've seen so far, they're from the 18th, 19th, and early 20th centuries. But buried underneath all of that is a much, much older story. The Agora we're about to see was rebuilt in 1780 AD. We're talking about a jump of more than 1,500 years into the past, right down to the Roman foundations of the city.
So this was the State Agora, the political and commercial heart of Roman Smyrna. And its story is one of resilience, which is, honestly, a key theme for Izmir itself. After this devastating earthquake hit in 1780 AD, it was completely rebuilt with help from the Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Today, this massive archaeological site is just hiding in plain sight. It's literally a window into the ancient world, right in the middle of the busy, modern city.
All right, for our final couple of stops, we're heading back toward that beautiful Aegean waterfront to explore two last, truly iconic locations that define the city's modern character just as much as its ancient past. But before I tell you what our next landmark is, I've got a little puzzle for you. Just take a look at the ironwork, the design. What could this pier possibly have in common with a very, very famous tower in Paris? If you guessed the Eiffel Tower, you are absolutely right. Get this, the design for the Konak Pier is actually attributed to the workshop of Gustave Eiffel himself. It's this fantastic, totally unexpected link between Izmir and Paris. And the pier's own story is just as interesting as its design, really showing how it's changed with the times. So it started out back in 1867 as a customs house, the gateway for all the goods coming into this bustling port. Then, by the 1960s, it had turned into a fish market. And today, after a ton of restoration work, it's an upscale shopping mall. It's a perfect symbol of Izmir's ability to constantly reinvent itself while still holding on to its heritage.
And that brings us to our final stop. And this one isn't a single building. It's more like the very soul of the city's social life. We're talking about the Cordon. This is the famous seaside promenade, this long, beautiful stretch of green spaces and walking paths and cafes where, seriously, the whole city comes to relax, hang out, and just enjoy the sea breeze.
And that brings our whirlwind tour to a close. From a Roman agora that speaks of resilience, to a cliffside elevator born from friendship, to an Ottoman bazaar that's still the heart of the city, and a French-designed pier that just keeps adapting, it's so clear that Izmir isn't just one single city. It's this incredible place where thousands of stories are all living together, right on top of each other, creating this totally unique character.
So, I guess I'll just leave you with this. If you could walk these streets, from the ancient stones of the Agora to the modern pavement of the Cordon, what do you think the many layers of this incredible city would whisper to you?